April 9th, 1987, London Middlesex Hospital. When Princess Diana took off her gloves and held an AIDS patient's hand, the doctors in that room held their breath. That moment wasn't just a simple touch between a patient and a princess. This was the historic moment that would change millions of lives and shatter every prejudice about AIDS. But the most shocking part was the secret story behind why Diana made this move. This truth will completely blow your mind. April 8th, 1987, Wednesday evening, Kensington Palace, 9:30 p.m. After putting her sons William and Harry to bed, Princess Diana sat alone in her private study. The letter lying open on her desk had kept her thinking for hours. The letter came from her close friend Adrian Ward Jackson. "Dear Diana, there's something I need to tell you. I have AIDS. The doctors told me I have a few months left, but the worst part is, nobody touches me anymore. Even my family is scared. They treat me like I'm some kind of monster. My only request from you, please visit the other patients. They're human too. With love, Adrian." Diana's eyes filled with tears. Adrian was the friend who supported her during her first royal duties, who was always by her side, and now he was dying alone on his deathbed. At that time, AIDS was the world's most terrifying disease. People believed it could be transmitted just by touching. Patients were excluded from society, abandoned by their families, but there was something she didn't know yet. This letter would lead Diana to discover the most important mission of her life. April 9th, 1987, Thursday morning, Buckingham Palace, 9 a.m. Diana wanted to talk about Adrian's letter at the royal family's weekly meeting. At the table sat Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip, Charles, and private secretaries. "I want to make a hospital visit related to AIDS patients," Diana said with a determined voice. The silence in the room was icy. The Queen looked at Philip. Charles frowned. "Diana," said the Queen, warning in her voice, "this is very risky, both health-wise and for the royal family's image." Charles added, "What will the public think?" A member of the royal family having contact with AIDS patients. "But they're human too," Diana replied. "They also need compassion." Sir Robert Fellows, the royal family's private secretary, intervened. "Princess Diana, doctors say this disease spreads through contact. Very dangerous." Diana stood up. "Then let's learn. Whatever the truth is, let's do that." This is where everything changed, because the truth Diana learned that day shocked her. Same day afternoon, secret meeting with Dr. Jonathan Mann. Diana had arranged a secret meeting with Dr. Jonathan Mann, the World Health Organization's AIDS expert. The meeting took place in a secret location in London, outside royal protocol. "Dr. Mann," said Diana, "I want to learn the truth about AIDS. Is what's written in the media true?" Dr. Mann took a deep breath. "Princess Diana, most of what's said about AIDS is wrong. The disease only spreads through blood and sexual contact. It doesn't spread through normal touch, hugging, or handshakes." Diana was shocked. "But why is everyone scared?" "Because the unknown creates fear, and unfortunately this fear isolates patients even more. So I can touch them? Of course. In fact, this is very important. For them, touch is proof that they're alive." Diana had made her decision at that moment. The next day she would go to Middlesex Hospital and visit AIDS patients. "But there's one condition," said Dr. Mann. "You mustn't wear gloves, because gloves send a message of fear." That night, Diana's final preparations. While Diana was spending time with William and Harry at home, she told them about the hospital visit. "Mum," said little Harry, "are you going to meet with sick people?" "Yes, sweetheart. They're human just like us. They've just gotten sick." William took Diana's hand. "Mum, be careful. Don't let anything happen to you." Diana hugged her son. "Don't worry. The doctor explained everything to me. It's safe." But actually, Diana was scared too, because AIDS had been so demonized worldwide that even the bravest people hesitated. You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet, because what was waiting for Diana at the hospital the next day was something she never imagined. April 10th, 1987, Friday morning. Outside Middlesex Hospital, 10 a.m. When Diana's convoy arrived outside the hospital, hundreds of journalists and cameramen were there. The news had spread worldwide. Princess Diana will visit AIDS patients. Hospital director Dr. Charles Farthing met Diana. There was worry on his face. Princess Diana, the media presence is very heavy. Maybe another day. No, Diana said with determination. It has to be today. While entering the hospital, Diana saw patient relatives waiting in the corridors. Most were crying. Most had been afraid to come visit their loved ones. AIDS ward, first encounter. When Diana entered the AIDS ward, she faced 15 patients. Most were very thin, some were bedridden. But what stood out most was the hopelessness in all their eyes. Dr. Farthing offered Diana gloves. Diana looked at the gloves, then shook her head. No, thank you. Everyone in the room was shocked. Nurses looked at each other. Doctors held their breath. Diana went to the first patient, 23-year-old David. Hello, David, Diana said with a smile. I'm Diana. How are you? David's eyes filled with tears. Princess, you really came. Of course I came. You matter. And that moment came. Diana reached out her hand and took David's hand. That touch lasted only 2 seconds, but it changed history. Wait a minute, don't miss this detail. Diana's action had created a domino effect worldwide. That moment, the silence in the hospital room. When Diana took David's hand, everyone in the room held their breath. Nurses looked at each other in amazement. Doctors didn't know what to do, but everyone had seen the change in David's face. He was smiling for the first time. Thank you, David whispered. Nobody was touching me. Diana sat next to him. Why? Because I have AIDS. Everyone's scared. I'm not scared. You're a human being, and every human being deserves love. Diana talked with David for 10 minutes. They talked about his family, his dreams, his fears. Then Diana went to the other patients too. She touched each one, shook hands, hugged some of them. Michael, the 19-year-old patient. Princess, my family abandoned me, he said, crying. Diana hugged him. I'm here. You're not alone. Sarah, the 25-year-old female patient. I wanted to be a mother too, she cried. Diana held her hand. Never lose hope. What you've seen so far is nothing. Because when Diana left the hospital, every news channel in the world was broadcasting live hospital exit in front of world media. When Diana left the hospital, hundreds of journalists and cameramen bombarded her with questions. Princess Diana, weren't you scared? Why didn't you wear gloves? What do you think about AIDS patients? Diana stood in front of the microphone. Millions of people from around the world were watching her. AIDS patients are human just like us, Diana said. They deserve love, compassion, and respect. There's nothing to fear. Normal contact is safe. These words spread worldwide. That day went down in history as the day AIDS perception changed. Same day evening, reactions. Worldwide, BBC News. Princess Diana's brave action shattered prejudices about AIDS. CNN International. A royal touch that changed the world. The Times. Diana breaks AIDS taboo with simple handshake. But the most important reaction came from hospitals. You won't believe this, but 24 hours after Diana's touch. April 11th, 1987. The domino effect begins 24 hours after Diana's hospital visit. Something unexpected happened at Middlesex Hospital. The number of visitors to the AIDS ward increased by 300%. Dr. Farthing was amazed. I've never seen anything like this in my 16-year medical career. Families started coming. David's mother, Margaret. I saw Princess Diana on television. If she's not scared, then I'm not scared either. I came to visit my son, Michael's brother James. I was staying away from my brother. But the princess's courage inspired me. Diana's impact didn't just stay in England. America, the number of visitors to AIDS hospitals in New York increased by 150%. France, donations supporting AIDS patients in Paris tripled. Australia, an AIDS awareness campaign was launched in Sydney. Diana's secret visits. That visit shown in the media was actually Diana's first. After that, she began visiting AIDS patients regularly without any news coverage. Every Tuesday evening, she would come to Middlesex Hospital. The media didn't know. There was no protocol. just Diana and the patients. The final shock is coming, because what Diana experienced during these visits changed her life forever. May 15th, 1987, Diana's unforgettable encounter. That Tuesday evening, when Diana came to the hospital, a nurse gave her sad news. "Princess Diana, David's condition is bad. He might die tonight." Diana's heart sank. David was the first patient she had touched. They had become friends since that day. When she entered David's room, he was very weak. He was having trouble breathing. "Diana," David whispered. "You came." Diana sat next to him, held his hand. "Of course I came. You're important." "Diana, I'm dying." "I know, but I'm scared. All alone." Diana did something at that moment that amazed everyone in the hospital. She lay down next to David, she hugged him. "You're not alone," she whispered. "I'm here." David died in Diana's arms 2 hours later. Diana cried a lot that night, but at the same time, she understood something. AIDS patients didn't just need medical care, they needed human warmth. 1987 to 1997. The balance of 10 years. Research conducted 10 years after Diana's first touch was shocking. Statistics. The number of families visiting AIDS patients increased by 400%. Donations to AIDS research increased by 500%. Hospital staff's attitude towards AIDS patients completely changed. AIDS awareness programs started in 23 countries. Dr. Jonathan Mann's statement, 1997. Diana's simple touch was the most effective treatment method in medical history. It changed millions of people's view of AIDS. David's mother's confession, 2007. Thanks to Diana, I'm grateful I could be by my son's side in his final days. That touch gave life not just to David, but to us too. 1997. Diana's death and AIDS community response. When Diana died, AIDS patients and their relatives worldwide organized a special memorial service. In London, 50,000 people gathered in front of Middlesex Hospital, where Diana first visited. Michael, first patient she hugged, alive in 2007. Diana didn't just touch me, she reminded me I was human. Without her, I would have died long ago. Not just from AIDS, but from loneliness. 2017, 30th Anniversary Memorial. On the 30th anniversary of Diana's touch to AIDS patients, the World Health Organization made a special statement. Princess Diana's brave action in 1987 was the turning point in the fight against AIDS. That touch saved millions of lives. William and Harry's confession, 2017. William: "My mother didn't just touch AIDS patients that day. She touched the world's heart." Harry: "My mother's greatest legacy was being able to touch with love. This is more valuable than the royal crown." 2024, Diana's lost letters. During renovations at Kensington Palace, secret letters Diana wrote for AIDS patients were found. "My dear friends, the day I touched you, you actually touched me. You taught me the meaning of being human. Love is stronger than any disease. With endless love, Diana." The truth. Diana's touch to AIDS patients on April 9th, 1987, wasn't just a medical action. It was proof that humanity can overcome any prejudice with love. Diana Spencer touched millions of people's lives that day, and this touch continues even today. Because love is the most powerful medicine. What do you think about Diana's courage after reading this story? If you were in that situation, could you have shown the same behavior? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you want to learn Diana's other humanitarian stories, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.